and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. Again, it is still Saturday, March 19th. Still working on this, still trying to think through it. This center spread is not coming out like I had hoped it would, so I actually am just creating some pockets, and I have to go back and rewatch the video. It was like an hour-long video that I watched for the idea on how to do it, but then I'm like, it's like a 12 pocket page or something like that, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna save that for a different journal and a different idea, because I am limited by the 1-inch spine, so I do have to be really careful and not get too overly full. So what I have done here, and I'm basically gonna mimic this on this side, I think, is I've just cut a piece of my coffee dyed paper and folded the edge over and glued that down as stabilization. So I'm just going to take my art glitter glue and just go around these edges and just build these pockets, because I want to get my pockets built, and then I know like how many tags and stuff that I need. And I really need to sit with the ideas book and just kind of think about what I want to put in these pockets for versatility and stuff. And I haven't even been building really anything as far as the pockets and stuff with the scrapbook paper. I've been using the digital kit, and part of the reason I'm doing that is to try to help keep some of the bulk down. But when we go to make oh my goodness, tags and stuff like that, I definitely want to use the scrapbook paper. So this is just a piece of music paper. It is a single layer, and I'm just going to make a skinny pocket here with this. I did fold the top over to protect that, and I'm just putting my glue around these 3 edges here. And so we'll just slide something really thin in there. It can't be anything thick, because this is not allowing for any kind of bulk, really, on the way I cut this. So I'm just going to kind of center that right there, bring it down just a smidge, and get that glued down. And then this was one of the pieces in the kit, and I just cut it to the width. I was able to maintain the butterflies and cut this to the width. So then this is going to be another pocket. So this is a triple pocket page, which is still a lot to have to fill. But I just thought that the 12 pocket thing would be a bit much. And actually I'm thinking, you know, that would be really cool, just like as a standalone, maybe a centerpiece or something in a journal. It might be kind of cool. So yeah, definitely something I want to explore and try, but not in this project, because I'm getting a little overwhelmed by knowing that I don't have very long left to get this completed, and I don't want to put out a product that I'm not proud of because I'm feeling rushed. So it's okay in your creative process to say, you know, that's something I want to try, but maybe not in this project, so that I don't I want to be proud of my work, and I don't want to feel like, oh my gosh, I rushed through it, so now, you know. And because this was going to be the center of my signature, we may just do a couple pockets here, but I like that as a page, and how it's going to go in my signature. Actually, that's really, oh, that's funny. I think that's really pretty against the coffee dyed paper, versus, you know, flipping it. And then that frees me up to do whatever I want on this side, and I don't have to match the pockets, if that makes sense. So, but I do, because of how I stenciled this, I have to do something on there. Even if I were to do like, oh, I know, I just had an idea. Let me find the digital that I'm looking for. Hang on. Okay, so I got an idea, and I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. So I think I need to stencil this a little more. And what I am thinking is somehow creating like something that's got, you know, journaling space here, and then these kind of like a flippy thingy, but with just the digital, so that it's not so bulky, but it's still an interactive piece here. I just have to figure out if I'm going to be able to make that work or not. And, you know, one thing that we could do is maybe just put like a mat of this down and go from and build on that. That would be kind of pretty. Let me cut that and make pockets out of that. I think I want to do that. I love this piece. It's such a pretty piece. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let's measure this, and I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I'm literally just brainstorming it right now. So that's about 3.5 by about 5. So if I did this, yeah, about 4 by 5.5. Let's do that. What's on? Yeah. So let's go 4 wide. Okay. 4 wide by 5.5 tall. Sorry. And then so we're gonna mat that. Let me move this out of the way. It's windy out right now. It was raining this morning, and then it's kind of quit raining, but it's still pretty windy. So let's just stencil that a little bit more just to make sure we're not fighting with that white space as much. And I don't have a clear plan. I don't know what I'm doing, so please have some grace with me as I'm umming and anding and all that good fun stuff here. So we're gonna mat that. I want to ink around that, I think. Now I'm wishing I had done blue or something as a color back here, but it's okay. Oh, I know what we can do. I have blue doily somewhere. Where's the blue doily? We can maybe do a little bit of blue doily behind it, just for a little color maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. I'm not gluing anything yet. Okay, let me get these cut out and I'll be back. Been trying to think my way through this and how I want to do it, but it's a bulky piece again, and I'm like, oh, with the bulk today. So I may not be able to do what I'm wanting to do. What I was thinking was that I would have this, like, this could flip out, okay? Then you could journal here. And this one would flip down, okay? This one would flip up, and then I thought I would, like, embellish this somehow. But I'm really concerned about the bulk, again, of this page because I don't want it to be too bulky. But I kind of am liking this idea. If I get these two lined up just right, and I thought I could push this one kind of to the top, right? And then if I put lace or trim or something here, and then I would just put one pull tab on this one, and then that would be like, hey, do something with me. Now, if I take this cardstock out and I just use, you know, just even a piece of coffee dyed paper, that might reduce the bulk a little bit, but I wanted the color, just a pop of color on that page. So I'm still playing with this, and I have not really come to any conclusion yet. I just need to make a decision and keep moving along, because if I keep taking an hour for every piece I make today, I am never going to get done. So, yeah. But I really kind of like this idea, and I think it might be worth the bulk just to have just a fun, playful piece. And then I think on a lot of the rest of the pages and pieces, we'll just have just some really simple, thin, not too crazy big. But I just think this is fun, and I want to do it. So I'm going to. So I need to find some lace for this one, or trim or something. Ooh, even like a little doily hanging off there would be super cute. What do we have? Oh, we got hanky. Oh, what's this? Oh, that would be pretty hanging off at the bottom of that. But it's the pattern's too big. Okay, so let me, oh, this is really pretty too. Oh, this is really pretty 3. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna get this embellished. I'm gonna get it glued. I'm gonna go with it, and then I can hopefully better explain it. So these were just cut aparts, you know, in the kit, the Artemaze kit. And so I just backed these with the coffee dyed, and I left, you know, the edge there. I just left, you know, at 1/4, 3/8 of an inch, and beveled it, right? So that way it would give me my little flap to glue. And I had thought I might make this a pocket, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna glue these to this and get the whole piece glued down, and then we're gonna trim this out. And I actually really like this, but I need color. I'm needing color is what I'm missing. So I may need to dye something to use on here. But yeah, I just think it's gonna be a fun piece. And then I won't actually do probably much of anything in the center, because these two pieces alone are gonna add, you know, some heft to it. So let me get this glued down and figure out what I want to use here. Ooh, where is that curtain? Okay. If you're going to attempt this, make sure you ink before you start gluing. It will make your life a lot easier. Don't be like me and forget to ink. So I've got to get these inked, and then I will glue the rest of them down. I can't believe I did that. It's me today. But anyway, yeah, ink around your pieces before you glue them, so that way it's just a lot easier to do. And then if you wanted to do any stenciling or stamping, I would also recommend doing that prior to gluing, just for ease and making sure that you don't get things on pieces, you know, that you don't want to get it on. I don't know. You know what I mean. Like, to make sure you don't stamp or ink on something where you don't want it, so you can be intentional. That's what I'm trying to say, although not very well. Okay, just gonna keep going. So got the thing glued down, and I put it under a book for a few minutes just to make sure it's down. So it opens, and opens, and I like it. And now I want to put something here, and I don't know what I want to put here. There are some cut aparts in this paper pad, so let's just do something like that in there. That could be pretty, but I like the brightness of this one. Ooh, I love the irises. And we kind of have the floral, obviously, flower and a butterfly here. So what do we want to do? I've just been working away and realized that I didn't finish filming the piece I was working on, so I apologize. I got it embellished, and kind of, so I just added a little bit of trim at the bottom here, and I added a little pull tab so that says, hey, open me, right? And then, you know, I didn't put pulls on these because I don't think I need 3 pulls, and this one doesn't have room for one anyway. And then on the inside, I just did a little bit of a collage. Did a little cheesecloth under the butterfly, the music page. This is some French book page, just to have a little image under there. So I think that's really fun. And then let's see. So I think I am actually done adding pockets, I think. So we've got, I did this tag here as a tuck. And then I glued the belly band down. And this, I know, is going to have the music one like I did in the prototype, the music page piece. So maybe we'll make that next, at least the base, so I can kind of talk through that. But I don't have room to work here. I've got to clean up a little bit before I can do anything. I'm losing my mind. So we have a pocket here that needs some decorative. I'm thinking just like a little bit of pink lace or something here. We have that. I'm leaving the center of this for now. I need to get this all stitched in, and I'm actually gonna put this under some heavy books to try to smush it, because it's pretty fat. And my 1-inch spine is gonna be getting tested. That's totally for sure. So I did this. I just did a little bit of a decorative punch on the edge here. This is a Fisker's punch. I don't know what it's called. I've had it for a really long time. But you can see, just lets that blue show through there. So I thought that was kind of fun. And then I do need to stencil this. I do need to stencil the white parts. Like I did this one because I put the pocket on it. So this needs stenciled. And I need to stencil here, but I just need to count all my pockets and just make sure that the journal's kind of balanced as well. And then, you know, we've got our hidden cards here. Ooh. And then let's see, I put a bottom one here. And I don't know if I glued that too loosely or what's going on, but it feels kind of, oh, you know what might be cute here? I may just slip one of these in. Like, how simple would that be, right? We'll see. I gotta get it sewn in first before I really start sticking stuff in pockets. So anyway, and then I need to stencil that. But that's it. So, but when I hold this, oops, when I hold this and I put my ruler here, without squishing it and without it being filled, it's at 1 3/4 inches. So I really have to get this streamlined, or I'm gonna be busting out of my folio and there's not room to bust out of it. And I cannot take any more pages out. I did take a page out, so I reduced this one to 5, and because of these two being together, glued together, this one's 5. I mean, it's 6 pages, but 5. So I'm going to stick this under a stack of books, and I'm going to clean up a little bit. And then when I come back, what we'll finish this video with is the music page piece that I want to put in here like I did in the prototype. So if you don't remember which one I'm talking about, that would be, well, wherever it is, this piece here. So I want to make that piece. So that's what we're going to work on next. Okay, so I will be back probably in the morning because my back is really tired and I just want to get cleaned up and be ready, fresh start with the desk, and just kind of pre-plan some pieces so I can, I'm hoping to maybe be able to be done with this no later than Monday or Tuesday, but that's it's gonna be hard pressed because of all the tags and stuff I need to make. So we'll see if my goal works out. Good morning, this is March 21st, Monday, and I worked on this journal a lot yesterday, but I didn't film. I just needed to get in my own head and just work on it, and so I just I'll show you the edge. That's all I'm gonna show you in this video. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the piece for the belly band, okay? So I took the piece out of the prototype belly band and I slid it in here, and I thought I might be able to make it just a little bit bigger, but I'm really liking how this is fitting in here, so I don't think I am gonna make it bigger. So remember I said we would go through this together and I would do it again, so that way if you didn't catch it in the prototype video, yeah, that aired. Okay. Gosh, I'm having such a hard time with that. Anyway, if it didn't air in the prototype video, then, or you didn't catch it in the prototype video, oh my goodness. Hopefully this will be a slower pace for you, and you'll be able to follow along. Or at least it'll be a secondary, a second time for you to see it. And hopefully, you know, you'll be able to make it. Clearly, I'm umming and ahhing and oh my goodness thing this morning. I'm super distracted. I have just a lot going on this week. We are trying to get ready to hopefully take a trip. We'll see what happens, and there are some factors involved. I'm waiting on, we're trying to refinance our house, which is not a big deal. It should go through with no issue, but this loan officer I'm dealing with is just, ugh, she's driving me crazy because she's not very good at communication and she's making me nuts. Okay. Anyway, all right, so I am trying to remember what I did. I folded that back on itself to stabilize it, right? Is that what I did? Yes, that's what I did. And we cut that off. Okay, I have to really sit and think about what I did because I just kind of did this on a whim. Oh, I used my scoreboard. I know I used my scoreboard. And I went, excuse me. Oh, I just love this paper. And this is a different size piece than I used, which is okay. Oh, and that was something I did want to point out. It doesn't matter. So I'm making this to fit the size of the belly band and the page that I'm doing. But even if you had an 8.5, 8.5 by 5.5 journal page you're working on, then you have lots of flexibility with this piece, because I mean, this piece is like 9 inches to the seam, so you could totally use your music page. You could do a mini one, you could do a big one. It doesn't matter. It's a very flexible piece. You just make it to fit whatever you're going to use it for, you know? So I think what I did was, so I have, there's the top. I don't know if you can see that little, right there is the, where I folded it over, okay? And then I know this was like the whole sheet because I folded this side in to protect that edge. So let's say I'm gonna do, because I did put this in my pocket and I like the way it fits, right? So I scored that, it looks like at about 4.25 maybe. So that's just what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna call it good. Where is my little embossing tool thingy? I don't know, so we'll just use, I have to clean up. I'm gonna lose my mind. I keep saying that, but as I'm working on this project, I keep pulling from little bits on my desk and I just haven't cleaned up, and oh, I have to. Okay, so we're gonna take that at 4.25, and again, you know, if you've got a 5.5 inch page you're working with, you know, you may want to say, oh, well, maybe I want it to be 5 or 4.75 or 4.5. It doesn't matter. Okay, you guys know that how to make things work in your space. And if you have questions or you want me to make one for like a 5.5 inch page for the measurements, just let me know. I'm happy to do that for you. Yeah, I'm happy to do that for you. Okay, so then I'm just gonna score that, right? And then I can come back over here and I score again at the 4.25, okay? And don't push too hard or you'll break through your paper when you're scoring. Ask me how I know. Usually if I give you a tip like that, it's because I've done it. Okay. All right, so there's kind of that bit, okay? So this is gonna glue back on itself for stability, and it doesn't have to. I mean, we could leave it open and it could open that way, it can open this way, but because I'm flipping this bottom up to make this a pocket, I want that stabilization, which, yeah, so my height then, what did I do? Oh my goodness, that was kind of a silly way to try to figure that out. I did it about 6 5/8 for my height, and I thought I might make this one maybe 1/8 of an inch longer, but I really don't want to get it too tight where it damages my belly band. So just because you have that space between, you know, your glue lines doesn't mean, like if you're able to measure like 7 inches, let me just show you on the prototype what I mean. Okay, so I know my stitching is not on the actual paper, right? I've glued there. But if I go, okay, I know probably my glue is within that stitch line because I know how I glued it. That leaves me about a 7-inch gap in there. But when I put this in here, if I had done a full 7 inches, that's not gonna fit in there very nicely. I'm gonna be fighting with it. I could compromise my glue. I don't wanna do that, okay? So always, you know, leave yourself, I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch for wiggle room. So that's like 1/8 at the top and bottom for that. So anyway, yeah. So now, what did I say this was? Okay, this was about 6 5/8. I like that size, so I think I'm just gonna stick with it. Like I said, I think I could go 6 3/4. Oh, but I guess I will, no, I'm gonna go the 5/8. I'm just gonna do the 5/8. Okay, all right, so now I've got my pocket thingy. Okay, so how did I do this? I know I folded that top over to protect my edge. And this has like the glue from the binding. I'm done with my scoreboard. So I'm done with my scoreboard. I just wanted to score that. You don't have to use a scoreboard. I just did because I wanted that crisp line. I did replace my blade in this trimmer. And so I just really want to, I just barely want to take that edge off because I need that to do, oh my gosh, it cuts so much nicer with a new blade. Oh my gosh, it was ripping on with my old blade, but the old blade was really quite beat up. Okay, so now we have our pocket piece, okay? We have our inside bits, and I'm trying to remember how I did this. So let me pause you for just a second because I know that we were getting close to 20 minutes already, so this is going to be a longer video, and I apologize. But like I said, I wanted to do this to go in that belly band and then see where we are. Well, that was a little more complicated than it needed to be. So I'm going to go over this with you really quickly. I'm going to pause again because this one is going in the idea journal because it was really hard. It was not really hard. It was really hard for me to look at this and remember what I did. I almost had to go back to the video and watch it, but I stopped and just like, okay, clear your head. You've got this, you did it. So we'll go over it. Then I'm going to score and get the other one cut and prepped. Then we'll get that glued and that will just kind of talk about it because this one I'm purposely leaving kind of dingy or trashy looking. Not trashy, just incomplete. Yeah. Okay, so we did our score marks. Our score marks were correct. So the 4 1/4, 4 1/4, whatever, that was correct. So what I was having a hard time with was this bottom flap and how I made that work. So when we scored, this was to the left, okay? So my 4 1/4, remember, then we folded it, the 4 1/4, and then this is going to fold. And then we scored at our 6 5/8, okay? So on that bottom score, you know, we folded the edge over because that's going to stabilize our pocket, okay? So on this, on the top piece, okay, where that, or on the, yeah, hopefully you understand me, okay? If you don't, ask because I can demonstrate this again, maybe just on plain paper with some measurements if you think that would help you, because this music is really busy and I love it, and now I've used the piece that I totally love to make this prototype, but I love it, so it'll be in the ideas journal, right? Okay, so we scored facing this way. Now I'm flipping it this way, okay? I have cut off this, you know, we did that fold up, you know, and we cut this and I beveled it. Now this is here on purpose so I can show you. If I didn't cut that off, when I went to fold this piece over to stabilize that, it was binding it. So I just took that little sliver off there, okay? So now that piece is going to get glued and this will get folded up. So that's going to create this pocket here, okay? The one that this tags in, that pocket. Then this piece that's part of that small back flap, I cut just on that score line, that 6 5/8 score line, right? So our pocket's going to fold up, then that flap is going to fold in this way, okay? So that's going to create this little pocket here, okay? So let's open it back up. All right, so this is going to get glued to this, okay? That's going to come over. We're going to do our little tab. We're going to glue that in. We're going to just glue the edges of this, fold that up. That creates this pocket. Then this one, I'm just going to fold this over a little bit here because I do want that reinforcement, and it doesn't matter. I mean, there's no set size, there's no set dimension. It's truly whatever works for you and whatever speaks to you. So that's going to fold in, and that's going to make the little pocket there. And then this will make our little flap in the back, see? So I'm going to get another one prepped and inked and figure out how I want to decorate it, and I'll be back. I have made the pencil prototype that I showed you, right? Where I've written on it. And then I made a almost glued prototype with ink so that I could see it. And then this is actually gonna go into the ideas journal. And I kind of feel like I should just make a finished one, decorated one to put in here. But I don't decorate anything in here. Why is that? I don't know why I don't. But, so we're just gonna find a home for this for right now. And maybe we'll come back to it. I have some other things we need to add, like the mess up for the center spread that I did that needs to be added in here. And just some other things that I would like to have in here. And I need to be better about making duplicates of things so that I can have ideas in there. Okay, that being said, this is where I am. I have glued and inked this one, okay? And one thing that I did notice is that on this one, I don't know which music book I pulled this out of. I looked because it says like page whatever on here. There's a page number on here somewhere I saw. Or I'm imagining things. Oh, maybe that's why I couldn't figure it out. Oh no, there's the page number. Oh my gosh, page 29. So I was looking in my music books and they all have page 29. So I have no idea what music book I pulled this out of, but it's a little bit of a more substantial paper. And I wouldn't say that really is necessary because this is glued. So it is essentially 3 layers of paper. So this one's pretty good, but this one is like 2. And so I thought, you know, for this, I just wanted it to be a little more substantial. Obviously I haven't glued my copy dyed paper in here. But anyway, so just kind of keep in mind your paper thickness, you know, when you're creating, okay? So what I have done is I have backed this little piece of scrap and I have this Stampin' Up punch. I have no idea what it's called. My sweet friend sent it to me. And so I just am kind of trying to center this, you know, as best I can on there. I'm just eyeballing it, trying to make sure my edges are on the little scallop thingies, and I'm punching. And hopefully it was dry enough that I didn't just ruin this piece. Uh-oh. Make sure your glue's dry before you try to stamp your pieces, guys. Because don't be like me, because I didn't. And now I have a boo-boo. It's all right. It's paper. We'll fix it. Maybe. Well, let's see what we're left with. That's okay. That's okay. My glue wasn't dry enough. I rushed it. But it's fine. So see? And then we'll just put a little bit of trim in there and we'll ink it. And this one is for this front pocket. Like, how cute is that gonna be? Oh, yay. And it's not too long, which I was a little worried about. But you know, I may just take just the tiniest little bit off this end here. Just to... And we have a little green border on each side, but that's okay because I was using a scrap. I don't want to waste any of this paper. I just love this paper. And then what I want to use for my pool is going to be yellow because that's going to give us a really nice pop of color. So that's going to go in here like this, okay? And it's snug, so I may have to trim those edges off because it's really tight going in there and I don't want to have any kind of damage. I did it at 1.5 inches, but I should have done maybe just slightly less. So we'll just take those little edges off there. And then that should go in with no issue. And honestly, let's round these corners because that also makes things go in your pockets a little easier when you don't have those sharp edges that you're attempting to use. Okay. Yay. See how much easier that went in? Perfection. Love it. Maybe it's not perfect, but that's okay. Speaking of imperfect, the piece for this pocket, I just did this. Oh, where's that little piece? Here. I cut these little postage stamp, this little postage stamp piece, and I'm going to do that here, but I want to do a little bit of trim behind it, and I think I've got some blue tulle, so I think I may do some blue tulle behind that. I don't want anything bulky that's going to catch on the lace. Okay, this one, I made a mess with glue, and it tore my coffee dye paper, but I'm just going to make it work because that's what we do, right? So I had this little scrap of music paper, which is perfect because we're using music paper in here, right? Let me set this aside so I don't do anything else to mess it up. Sorry guys, I took my medication for my back, and so I'm a little silly right now. Definitely can feel it, so I do apologize. I'm going to, when I get done filming this, oh, my dear sweet friend curates the most amazing vintage ephemera packs, and I have one, and so I'm gonna open it with you guys and share, and then put her contact information in the description box because it's truly vintage stuff. It's her passion, and her packages are phenomenal and very, very reasonably priced. So that's gonna be what I do when I finish this. Okay, so that's just that, and I want this little butterfly, but I need some trim behind him. And do you think that I was prepared for that? No. So let's see. Here's just a little bit of coffee dyed cheesecloth. Again, I don't want anything super bulky because this piece itself is kind of big. So let's just do a little bit of cheesecloth behind him. Not too much, just a little. I just love cheesecloth. I found some that I need to put in my stuff because I need to be, oh yeah. And then, you know what I'm gonna do on him? Oh, I should emboss him like that. No. And this is double layer, but that's okay. That's okay. We're just gonna go for it. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue there just to put that kind of where I want that. And then this guy, let's do, oh, you know what I could do once I get it glued down? I'll put glossy accents on it. That'd be pretty. And then I'll have to just set it aside so that it doesn't, I don't put fingerprints in it because you guys know I'm like pretty bad about putting fingerprints in it. So that's glued down. So then I'm going to do glossy accents on it and set it aside. I'm going to get some coffee dyed paper in here, figure out what I want to stamp because I stamped on this one and I love it, and did like this little label piece here. So I definitely want to do that. And then when I come back, this piece will be ready to go in our, well, it'll be ready to go in the belly band except for the butterfly drying. But I'm not going to wait for that to dry to finish filming this episode. So, yeah, I'll be back. The piece is done. So we've got a journaling card here with a little butterfly on the back. Okay, we have a little tag down here with little journaling space on the back, and I was going to stamp on that. I just haven't done it yet. That's something I'm getting ready to do, is go through and do some stamping on here throughout the pieces. I just want to see what is left to be finished and what we still need. And I think this is probably, why are we not going on what I'm catching on something? I think I'm catching on the bling of my butterfly. That's not good. Anyway, I'll get it in there. So I'm going to end this video here. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sticking with me. We are about done with this series. I'm going to get the signatures sewn in I'm going to do a little bit of stamping and just put some interest on some of these pages that are a little blank. And then I think I'll do a final flip through and just make sure of what I need. Like, I know I need some pull tabs on these. You know, I did just the dyed sari for the top of this one, but I think I want to do some coffee dyed muslin or something on there. And then this one, I'm not sure what I'm going to use. Again, well, this has got some design to it because the paper's paisley. But anyway, so just some finishing touches, and then I will film a final flip through, and that will be aired, you know, at the end of the file folder folio series. So you'll be able to see the total finished product. Thanks so much for your encouragement and for hanging out with me, and just for being, you know, being with me throughout this journey. It's been really interesting and a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. Yep, it was catching on the bling. Okay, so I think that's going to be really pretty in there, just that poking out. I do need to make a few dangles, a few charms, that sort of thing, and then we'll be done with this project. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Bye.